Well, the injured player for TCU is their All-America candidate, their Blitnikoff watch lister, the wide receiver Josh Doctson, who's already got 5 catches for 102 yards and a touchdown reception here tonight. Extended to make a catch and exposed his midsection in doing so and got hit pretty good. And now pops back up and will trot over across the way to the TCU sideline.
Again, well, you wonder when you get hit in that open area, one, you get the wind knocked out of you, but for me, you worry about that ribs. That's an area you want to protect. One good thing about it is his bicep came over his chest there, made it give that extra cushion he needed. Ran off pretty good, so hopefully we'll see him back in this football game.
Jalen Austin will replace him. 2 receivers to each side. The fake to Nixon. Boykin will keep it. Doctson, Turpin, and Nixon. They're 3 playmakers that they wanted to try and get a lot of touches for tonight.
Again, we hope he's okay. He's been a huge impact with this offense. Is all about what they do.
Turpin puts his head down around the 10. Did the ball pop out? Or was it simply taken away by Nigel Tribune? And the turnover for Iowa State. And now it is Cavante Turpin injured on the play.
Yeah, Nigel Tribune gets a chance to redeem himself here. Makes the big hit, pulls the ball out against Turpin. Again, Turpin not known for being a running back in that toss action to the outside. Clearly pulls it out before his knees down. The question is the impact of that hit against Turpin, and right now he's still down.
Sitting on perhaps a turnover right here for Iowa State. Let's get a studio update.
All right, Beth, Anthony, time for the Taco Bell studio update. Following that crazy Michigan game on ESPN, it's Florida and LSU, and Treon Harris strikes first to Jake McGee. Now let's see what Leonard Fournette can do against that Florida defense, but it's 7-0 Gators.
Thank you, Chris. Another matchup there of a couple of unbeaten teams tonight in the SEC. Tremendous start for the Gators, and of course Leonard Fournette, another guy that is mentioned as the Heisman front runner, along with Trevon Boykin here for TCU. The bigger problem right now for Gary Patterson, we talked about the 3 playmakers, Doctson, Turpin, and Nixon. Doctson is on the sideline right now with an injury, and Turpin is the guy down on the field.
You're exactly right, and I talked to Doug Meacham before the game, and he said, listen, we're trying to get these kids the ball as many times as possible. When you lose some of your best players, be tough to trust the other players, and right there it's, again, that contact. It could be a shoulder. Again, it's hard to tell exactly what happened to Turpin there. The one thing I tell you, the ball came out, and they're going to have a change of possession.
Turpin and Doctson have already combined for 179 yards in this first quarter, only 10 minutes into the game for TCU. Doctson has a touchdown catch. Turpin had the long punt return to set up a score. Unfortunately for TCU and Horned Frog fans, this is something they have seen too much of on the defensive side of the ball throughout the year. We talked about they've already lost 5 guys for the season on the defensive side. They had a couple of other defensive players that have returned from injury. Doctson still has his helmet in his hand on the sideline, which is usually a good sign that it's not a serious upper body injury. Turpin is now sitting up. Cavante is the true freshman from Monroe, Louisiana, and they will not bring him back to the sideline. They will walk him right back towards the locker room. Let's go down to the field now. Paul Carcaterra with an update on Doctson.
Josh Doctson, top 5 statistically in almost every major category for wide receivers nationally. It's actually, Anthony, not his rib area or his midsection. It's his right hip. I'll let you know when I hear more on that superstar, as well as the freshman, Cavante Turpin.
And that's interesting because if it's his hip and you're talking wide receivers coming out of breaks, running routes, be tough maybe for him to come back. Paul, stay on top of that, see if he gets back in this football game.
Well, after landing through the long touchdown pass, it is back to Sam Richardson at quarterback. Off of a turnover here in the red zone for Iowa State. The Turpin fumble. And a little crossing route underneath to Juwan Wesley. Let's go back to the Doctson injury. Is it when he lands?
Yeah, I would say a lot of force going on there. Could be a hip pointer. Again, that's an area of force that's crucial. Wide receivers move. He's working it out on the sidelines now on that bike. See if he can kind of get it going again in return.